What is a 10 out of 10 game? Hollow Knight is a work of art. A moving painting painstakingly detailed to perfection. All elements synergize together and explain the other. Its identity and artistic expression is perfectly balanced with cool game elements, and it's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Hollow Knight is a textbook definition of what a perfectly conceptualized and executed video game idea is supposed to look, feel, and play like. It's a world anyone can slip into and feel like they're existing within. Everything in the game is perfectly balanced to enforce its world and the type of power fantasy it wants to give you. The closest feeling of Hollow Knight is probably Dark Souls, just different in the sheer sense of hopelessness it conveys. Not intentionally, of course, as Dark Souls is trying to go for a more brutal fantasy, while Hollow Knight behind its bleak tone carries a mystical, whimsical undertone with slight hope underneath, opposed to Dark Souls' completely hopeless reality. Like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight's video game mechanics are perfectly balanced with the game's world and story. Everything you see on screen makes sense in both a narrative as well as a video game form, melting the two mediums together into a great story that perfectly encapsulate fun action role-playing adventure filled with fun bosses that both melt into the world and are great mechanical tests for the player to test their skills in the world's combat. The combat is so smooth thanks to its perfectly balanced relationship to the enemy roster. The knight is equipped with just the right number of expanding tools to deal with the library of different enemies and obstacles. Enemy design perfectly represents a fallen world as well as the different regions they inhabit, creating the level of size as well as the depth needed to stage such a wide narrative, connecting back to Hollow Knight's level of synergy with its own elements and worlds. That sounds super nerdy, but this is a game that captures such a large audience, inspiring a bunch of YouTube channels, as well as a cold war of interest towards the sequel Silksong. Everything in the game has thought put into it, to enemy placement, story elements, as well as new ability checks throughout the game. As much as I want to get into the different sections of the game, that's not what this video is about. It's not the point. The point of this video is to see what a 10 out of 10 is. When judging a game, there's a wide consensus that numbers can somehow measure the value of the game. The higher the number, the more nuance the take. Often 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10 is thrown around. If a game is popular enough to have an audience, then it's gonna have a fan base that will consider that game a 10 out of 10. So a 10 out of 10 is the often looked at rating for the wide market. But what does that actually look like? When you apply it to a video game, and in this video I hope I made my argument as to what a 10 out of 10 video game should look like, and Hollow Knight is that example. Hollow Knight is perfectly conceptualized and executed and makes you feel like a mini soulless link between our world and hollowness, allowing you to roleplay whatever version of badass mini power battle knight emo bug thing you want to be. A perfectly balanced game and masterpiece. But that's just my thoughts, guys, and I'm working on my format and writing and trying to do better with the audio. Hopefully that improves, and we'll just keep improving. And thanks for watching. This is a bit of a short one, but we're trying some things out.